This video is brought to you by Anthropic, the team behind Claude. So it's been 2 years since I quit my 9 to 5 job, and one of the most frequently asked questions is, how do you pay your bills? I was thinking about how to answer this question, and I was like, quack it. I decided to show you everything. In this video, I'm going to talk about exactly how much I made working full-time in Tokyo each year, how much money I saved in order for me to quit 9 to 5 job, tips and tricks that I used to save extra money, and what I exactly did in order for me to prepare to quit my 9 to 5 job. So let's get into the video. Let's start from 2019. I'm 24 years old. I just graduated from university in California and moved back to Japan. I got my first bigger job in Tokyo and I started working full time in April. I couldn't find my yearly income report, but I remember how much I was getting monthly, so calculating from that, on my first year, I made around $27,000. And most of my salary went to my rent. I was living in a small studio apartment and I was paying around $1,000 per month. My starting salary was quite low, but I still managed to save around $3,000 on that year. My entire life was pretty much like work, sleep, repeat, work, sleep, drink, repeat. And so there was nothing much exciting going on because my pay was quite low. I was focused on getting promoted as quickly as possible so that I can increase my income. Even though some people might have some talents or skills, for most people, I think focusing on one main job that you have and trying to get the promotion, trying to earn the bonus is the quickest way to earn extra money. I think it's so much easier to just sharp focus on getting better at your main job, getting promoted, increasing your income first, and then when you have enough income, you can start saving money and you can start working on your asset management. Okay, let's move on to 2020. I am 25 years old and this is my second year working for this company. As a young adult, I always had a dream, and my dream was to hit 10 million yen yearly salary by the age of 25, which is around 90k US dollars in the exchange rate back then. I worked from like 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single day, or maybe even later sometimes. I just worked as hard as possible. But my dream did not come true at all. In fact, I wasn't even close. In 2020, I made a yearly salary of $50,858, and my saving by the end of the year was around $9,000. I was focusing more on, improving my skill and getting promoted as quickly as possible. I didn't care about saving as much yet. And now let's talk about 2021. This was a big moment for me. Before I'm going to talk about the crazy year, let me introduce you to my creative assistant, Claude. At this point, you've probably heard of Claude before, but Claude is an AI collaborator that works with you, not just for you. And that is why Claude is my favorite AI collaborator tool. With Claude, you can be even more creative than you already are. You can get more things done, and together you can solve difficult challenges that you might not be able to solve alone. You can literally do so many things with Claude, but let me show you some of my favorites. As a starter, Claude can do simple tasks like preparing for the day so that you can sit back and relax and enjoy your morning coffee. What's really cool is that you can use Claude connectors to connect all the things you use for work, like Gmail, Calendar, Notion, maybe Asana, so that Claude can go through all the tasks for you and prepare for the day for you. Claude is outstanding with creative tasks as well. Some of you already know, but I've been preparing to launch Japanese learning service, and I created a waitlist for those interested. You can use Claude to come up with really cool aesthetic design for your landing page, for your newsletter, or any websites really. And when I'm ready to start teaching Japanese, I can connect Canva to Claude, and Claude can turn my lesson draft into really cool slides using Canva. Another cool thing I did was to ask Claude to act as my talent manager, and the answer was quite impressive. And last but not least, as you probably know, writing is one of the strengths that Claude has. With Claude, you can easily turn your YouTube video into an article or a newsletter draft. Using Claude to me really feels like I have a creative assistant who is also my friend. And again, you can really feel that Claude is a tool that works with you, not just for you. And also, I really like the aesthetic of Claude, I'm not gonna lie, because at the end of the day, I'm just a girl and I like anything cute and aesthetic. Discover what's possible and try Claude for free using my link in the description below. And now let's talk about 2021. This was a big moment for me. I was 26 years old and this was my third year in this company. In the previous year, my dream didn't come true, but I didn't give up. I just kept going and my income skyrocketed. In 2021, I made around $135,000, which is way above the 10 million yen yearly salary that I was dreaming of. From this, my base salary was around 44,000, so all the rest was up to the individual performance. And to be honest, pretty much all my base salary disappeared to tax and insurance. By the end of the year, my saving account increased to 70,000 US dollars, and this is the year I started to worry about how I can save more money. I think one of the saving tips that worked for me the most was to not upgrade my lifestyle when my income increases. Of course, you can't follow this rule completely, but I just tried my best as much as possible. I kept the fixed costs as low as possible, and I even moved to a different apartment that had lower rent so that I can save a little bit more money. Another thing that could help is to write a priority list. There are things in life that really bring you joy and the things that you don't care about. For me, for example, I really like coffee, but I'm not too picky about it. So instead of going to Starbucks every single day when I go to the office, I would go to convenience store, then I can already save around 50% of the money. Another thing is when I go to supermarket, I would always check the discounted corner first. It was a lot of fun for me to check out discounted corner because sometimes they have like seasonal vegetables that I had never cooked before, and I would do research on how to cook those vegetables and cook a new dish that I had never cooked before. So that was a lot of fun for me and it saved me some money as well. On the other hand, things that I cared about was experiences, so I would spend money mainly on weekend trips. Let's move on to 2022. I am 27 years old and this is my fourth year working at this company. Dream is wonderful, but oftentimes it doesn't last forever. On this year, I made around 70,000 US dollars, which is way lower than 2021. And my saving account actually didn't make any progress. In the end of the year, I had around 70,000 US dollars, which is exactly the same as the previous year. And there is a reason for this. One of the biggest reasons was that I had a major burnout and I really needed to slow things down. I spent a lot of money to de-stress, maybe weekend trips or massage or going to a therapy. Also, I needed to pay tax based on previous year's income, so I was paying a lot of taxes even though I wasn't making as much as the previous year. Another major reason is that this is the year where yen started to get cheaper. I don't even want to think about yen's value right now in 2025. It's really low. And I made a big change on this year. I decided to move out of Tokyo and moved into a coastal town which was around 1 hour drive from Tokyo. By doing this, I was able to cut my rent by around 50%, which is a big cut. And I generally believe that one of the easiest ways to save extra money is to lower your fixed cost. Let's move on to the final year, 2023. I am 28 years old and this is year 5 of working at this company, and this is the year where I make the big decision. In 2023, I only worked for 6 months And in these 6 months, I earned around 51,000 US dollars. And as you guys know, I decided to quit my 9 to 5 job in order for me to live a life where I put health and happiness first. By the time I left my company, my saving account had around 83,000 US dollars, which is around 11.5 million Japanese yen. And I left the corporate world just like that. And I'm somehow not homeless yet, so I hope I'm doing something right. During those years, the value of yen went down like crazy. So in 2019, 1 US dollar was around 108 yen. And by the time I left the company, which is 2023, $1 valued around 139 yen. And because I wanted to explain everything in US dollars to just make things easier, that had some influence on each year's salary that I mentioned. So next, let's talk about what exactly I did in order for me to prepare to quit my 9 to 5 job. Unfortunately, Japan has one of the highest tax rates in the entire world. It can be up to 55.9% for income tax. And for entrepreneurs, it kind of sucks because corporate tax can go up to 30.62%. Since I decided to quit my job in the middle of the year, first I calculated how much tax I need to pay for that year and for the upcoming 2 to 3 years. For me personally, I calculated how much money I need in order for me to live for 2 to 3 years. I know some people do 1 year, but I'm Japanese and I'm kind of pessimistic, so I wanted to be extra secure. So I calculated for 2 to 3 years. And from there, I took a look at if there are any costs that I can lower or I can get rid of. And one of my strategies was to move out of Tokyo, which lowered my cost of living and my rent. And finally, you're gonna come up with your magic number. This is your saving goal, and when you achieve it, you can finally leave your 9 to 5 job and live the dream life that you are dreaming of. Besides finance, I did another thing to prepare to quit my job, which was a test run. My dream was to make money from content creation, but back then I didn't have a channel that was alive. So in order for me to make sure that I enjoy content creation, on the weekend and whenever I had time, I worked on my YouTube channel to make sure that this is something that I want to go all in. If you're thinking of leaving a 9 to 5 job, let me know what's stopping you and what your current struggles are. I always love reading your stories in the comments section. Thank you always for following my journey. Don't forget to try Claude for free from the link in the description below, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye!